Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Impact Wrestling review for October 29, 2019. This is actually a couple of days late. I do apologize. This was actually a last-minute thing I thought about doing, and now I am finally doing it. I'm going to go ahead and provide you guys my whole entire schedule that I will do on a weekly basis, and once in a while on the weekends I will do a random wrestling talk episode going over news and rumors and things of that sort. So starting things off on Tuesday nights, I will be providing NWA Power Review. That same night I will go back and watch Impact Wrestling and try to provide that review to you on Tuesday nights as well. So I will try my best to get Impact Wrestling. If I don't get Impact Wrestling on Tuesday night, my review, I will provide it to you Wednesday night, the same day I'm providing you guys the AEW Dynamite episode review. So I will be providing at least one or two reviews a day on these shows, depending on how much time I have. The other thing, I'm going to be doing a review on Wednesday nights, AEW. Thursday nights, NXT. And then Fridays, I'm probably going to be able to provide you guys the MLW. MLW is actually Mondays, excuse me. So let me repeat this back. MLW on Monday nights. It's only a 1-hour show, so I'll be able to get through it quickly and then provide you a quick video on my review and take on the show. Second, Tuesday nights. Impact Wrestling possibly, but most definitely NWA Power is going to be on Tuesday nights. I'll see how everything goes with Impact Wrestling, but Impact Wrestling is a 2-hour show. NWA is only a 1-hour show, so it makes life a little bit easier for me to provide a review on NWA than it is for Impact. So, Wednesday nights, you probably will see Impact Wrestling depending on how much time I have. The second, on Wednesday nights, we're going to see AEW review. Thursday nights, NXT. And Friday nights, we are going to see pretty much nothing. I pretty much will not provide anything unless there is something missing from the mix that I did not cover for that portion of the week. So God forbid anything goes wrong or my schedule is a little out of whack. Fridays will be the fill-in for anything I missed on my reviews. Saturday and Sunday, like I said, I may do a random wrestling talk episode depending on how things are going, because on weekends I'd like to make some time for myself, family members, and friends, have a little bit more of a life than what I've been doing these last few days of this week. I've been all over the place, providing you guys non-stop videos of all different wrestling episodes. I am living up to the name of World of Wrestling. If I have not, I think there's something wrong with you guys. I've been providing reviews on different promotions. Tonight at 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm going to be watching New Japan Wrestling's Power Struggle and then provide you guys the review in the morning after I get some breakfast and whatever and recharge my batteries. So that's just the overall presentation so far of my schedule, what I got. It's a rough draft here. I don't know if it's going to be official, what I'm going to have. But, of course, you guys have your subscription boxes showing everything of what's been uploaded for that specific day or time that it comes out. So, you guys will have that information available to you to go ahead and look up anyway. You can always click on the name of my YouTube channel, and you'll see all the videos uploaded on my channel anyway. So, it doesn't really matter. So, you guys can always gain access some way or another to be able to view my videos and my reviews on all these episodes. So, we basically kickstart everything. We get an announcement that we are going to be seeing some of the matches. They had Josh Matthews and Don Callis in the middle of the ring discussing what the match card will basically be this week, or not for this episode. And they also announced that that Sami Callihan will get another opportunity for the Impact Wrestling World Championship against Brian Cage in a steel cage match. So that actually was announced. They do provide a promo video later on in the show just before the match started, like it was a pay-per-view match, and give us an insight in how that became about, and why it's happening. So they do a good job on that explanation. I will go a little bit of critiquing on Impact Wrestling about their decision-making for the world title and where they went with this on booking the matches between Bound for Glory and now this episode altogether. So I will definitely kind of harp on that because I didn't really agree with their decision here, what they kind of did here in this situation. So we started things off with the very first match of Ethan Page versus Maru Fuji. Maru Fuji and Josh Alexander. Excuse me, I read the title wrong. It was Josh Alexander as one half of the tag team champions going against Maru Fuji. Maru Fuji defeated Josh Alexander connects a sliced bread number 2 to pick up the win, and that was pretty much the match. The match was kind of slow. It really didn't get the fans exactly excited except near the end when they hit the finishing touch this match, and Maru Fuji won the matchup, and that was pretty much it. This match was okay. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't that great either. I was not impressed with this. So after the match, Maru Fuji offers his hand in, sportsmanship. Page persuades him not to shake it, and then security comes, and then at that point, he kind of puts his hand out again, and then pulls his hand away, Josh Alexander, and bullshits Maru Fuji that he's showing some sort of, sportsmanship. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. This week has been hectic. I've never done this on the channel before. It is not easy. I am doing what high up YouTubers do, and it is a fucking pain in the ass to do all these reviews day after day and, upload videos and so forth. It is a fucking pain in the ass, but it is damn well worth it if you're interested in wrestling or whatever you might be doing for your YouTube channel. So I enjoy this. This is my hobby. This is what I love to do. I love to give you guys insight and how I feel about the shows that I watch, and I'm trying to live up to the name of my YouTube channel anyway, providing you reviews and personal opinions on what's going on in each and every promotion that I can get my hands on and give you guys my insight on the shows. So we have security confront OVE, which is Sami Callihan's group, backstage, and they tell Sami Callihan that the Chris's, Bryan and Jay Chris and Madman Fulton are banned from ringside tonight. So they're not allowed by the ring or anywhere in the building for that matter while they have this steel cage match go on. Very good idea. I enjoyed that. That whole entire thing there was very intelligent. I think that put a lot of credibility towards Sami Callihan later on in the show. You'll see what I mean by that if you've never watched the episode yet. Fall Ball joins the Rascals in the Treehouse, which is their little segment that they have where they light up on some marijuana. It's very funny stuff. Some of it is a little over the top, cringe-worthy type shit. But some of it is actually very entertaining and funny. So it just depends on how far they go and how, messed up it really is. But this was actually very interesting. I enjoyed watching this. Fall Ball, he actually goes ahead. This character says ba a lot. That's all he says. Ba, 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 ba. He goes ahead and he sits down with the Rascals and lights up a joint. You don't actually see anything like that, but you pretty much get the instance that they are smoking marijuana. There's smoke all over the place in the screen, so it seems a bit foggy with smoke all over their faces and around the image. There's image of smoke around them and stuff like that. So they're sitting there, and Fall of Ball did take a puff out of the Magic Dragon, and he starts talking normal. Instead of saying "ba" all the time, like as if he's Timur from South Park, he actually went on and said a couple of sentences. There was some things he said that made him sound very intelligent. He's actually a very good talker, too. I actually think he would be better if they stopped making him a joke and turn him into something serious. Based on his promo skills, being able to talk. He's a very smooth talker. I like the way he talked in this segment. He sounded really good. But he's not exactly someone you can take seriously on this program. He's never done anything important. So, I mean, at the end of the day, guys, I mean, he's not exactly, knocking down barriers or knocking down walls or anything to give himself any kind of credibility as an in-ring competitor. But as a talker, he's pretty fucking good. So I enjoyed that little segment that they had with Fall of Ball with the rest of the Rascals. They were pretty funny and entertaining. They were kind of like sitting there going, what the fuck is going on? Why is he talking? Because they're used to hearing him say "ball" all the time. So that was kind of funny and entertaining. We had Taya, Valkyrie, Kara Hogan, and Madison Rayne face Rosemary, Jordynne Grace, and Alexa Nicole. This matchup was okay. It was a bit better than the match that kick-started the show. So just to give you a little insight what we have written here off of ImpactWrestling.com. Alexa hits the ropes but Taya attacks her from the apron, allowing Madison to gain control of the match. Kira takes Alexa off the top with a high-risk hurricanrana, but tweaks her shoulder in the process. It turns out to be a hoax as she suckers Alexa in and pokes her in the eyes. Jordynne connects with a big splash on Taya, and Jordynne rolls up Taya out of nowhere to score the upset victory. So they kind of broke it down. It wasn't a full-on description of what happened in the ring. They kind of like highlighted what happened in the matchup. So that's pretty much what occurred, most of the main highlights of this matchup. So Jordynne Grace got the win over Taya Valkyrie. So with that, that's definitely going to, in my personal opinion, going to put Jordynne Grace in the title contention to face Taya Valkyrie for the Women's Championship. So that should be pretty entertaining. There is something they did mention on here that was incorrect based on history, which they got that all messed up. They said Jordynne Grace never had an Impact World Championship opportunity. Our Impact Women's, or Knockouts Women's Championship opportunity, which is totally incorrect. Jordynne Grace did face Tessa Blanchard for that title at the time that Tessa Blanchard was world champion for the women's division, and she, of course, lost that match and hasn't gotten a title shot ever since, but apparently that seemed to roll right off their head, and they're doing a Vince McMahon reenactment of not remembering history. So there you go. We also have RVD speak out on the situation that for why he turned on Rhino during their tag team triple threat match for the tag team titles at Bound for Glory. So he speaks for the first time betraying Rhino at Bound for Glory while on vacation with Katie Forbes. RVD claims that many professional wrestlers have stolen his moveset, but in the end, he's still one of a kind. He also mentions Kenny Omega, people like them that came about because of his wrestling moveset. He believes a lot of people have stolen that from him. And so on and so forth. So that was a little bit of a shot at AEW a little bit, and I guess other bigger promotions than what they are. So that was kind of a little damper of a doozy comment by RVD. I actually like the heel-like type gimmick that he's providing here. It's definitely different for him. He's never kind of portrayed this heel-like character before. So he really did a solid job here. His girlfriend, Katie Forbes, she's very hot. I may put it that way. Is she exactly what you would call great to use as an in-ring wrestler? She probably will be his manager, more than likely, helping him win matches and screwjob finishes. Ton of tattoos all over, which that doesn't really matter. But quite frankly, this character that RVD is portraying is very unique for him. He's never done something like this before. So kudos to Impact Wrestling on this new change on RVD's character. And Rhino and him definitely look like they're going to be facing each other at Hard to Kill, which is in January to kickstart the year of 2020. We also had Dizzy Hit Squad face Rich Swann and Willie Mack. My God, I hate the Dizzy Hit Squad. They absolutely suck. They have Rohit Raji and Raj Singh going up against Rich Swann and Willie Mack. Just to go over some of the highlights that happened during this match that were important. Dizzy Hit Squad wear down Rich, cut off the ring and preventing him from making a tag to Willie. Rich turns it around with a clothesline to Rohit, allowing him to tag in the big man. While Willie hits Rohit with a Samoan drop, followed by his signature standing moonsault for a 2 count. The Desi Hit Squad connect with a modified double team DDT on Rich, but Willie breaks up the pin attempt. Rich hits Rohit with the handspring cutter. Rich and Willie hit a double team top rope neck breaker to win the match. And that's pretty much the overall insight on that matchup. Was it a good match? Not exactly, because they were facing the Dizzy Hit Squad. I don't like a damn thing that group has to offer when it comes to in-ring tag team wrestling. They absolutely suck. Their gimmick sucks. Everything about them blows. I don't like them, period. Rhino comes into the arena. He's furious looking for the man that betrayed him at Bound for Glory, Rob Van Dam. Rhino threatens RVD and challenges him to a match at Turning Point on Impact Plus. So excuse me, I got corrected. Turning Point on Impact Plus is the match that we're going to see for these two guys. I don't know why they would do that. This is for, I guess, some sort of situation that happened with them at Bound for Glory, and now they want, I guess they might as well make this the main event of that Turning Point Impact Plus special pay-per-view type of event, because anything else you really can't put over this. There's nothing really built up going into this show that's probably going to be 3 hours. So that was pretty much it. We had Moose on a golf course to prove he's the best multi-sport athlete of all time, which was really fucking retarded. He took the ball and dropped it inside the hole, acting as if he got a hole-in-one, and attacked and intimidated other people on the golf course as if he was just some kind of big tough guy. Really fucking stupid. I didn't really care for this at all. From there, we had Ken Shamrock in the ring to address his future in professional wrestling, but then Joey Ryan interrupts and claims his thing can tap out Shamrock faster than the Gracie choke. That was really a fucked up thing. It came out of his mouth. He also mentions about how he would like to have a match with Ken Shamrock next week. And Shamrock accepted, of course. And that was pretty much it. And he also did something really gross. He stuck a lollipop inside his trunks where his dick and balls are, which was really fucking sick. I don't know what the hell anybody would stick a lollipop by their dick and balls, but apparently he's that kind of person that would do that. And Ken Shamrock was asked by Joey Ryan, "You know who I am?" And he goes, "Not really. You're not very I don't remember you that much. Oh, wait, yeah, you're the penis guy. The penis guy. That's a great way to be remembered, that you're the penis guy. Good stuff. Very good. Yeah. Really retarded. I hate Joey Ryan. I think he absolutely stinks. It's a fucking horrible wrestler, may I add. And his gimmick is downright despicable and fucking stupid. He belongs in WWE. It's a freaking joke. But yeah, they went ahead, and Ken Shamrock and Joey Ryan have agreed to have a match next week, one-on-one. That should be a one-sided beatdown. Ken Shamrock should walk away with a victory. He stated he ain't retiring from wrestling, and he's still going to be wrestling in Impact Wrestling. So there you go. Ace Austin versus Eddie Edwards in a street fight. This match was the best match on the card outside of maybe the steel cage match for the World Championship between Brian Cage and Sami Callihan. This was a fucking awesome match. Especially one spot, Eddie Edwards catches Ace Austin trying to do a maneuver, a high-risk maneuver, and he catches him inside of the fucking trash can that they were using. Nailed it, picture perfect. He went directly into the trash can and was in there, and then got hit in the head with a fucking kendo stick. I absolutely loved this spot. This was fucking awesome as shit. This matchup really in itself was really cool as hell. There was no outside interferences. It was all between those two. There was no shenanigans going on during this match. It was just a straight one-on-one street fight. Nothing. Well, actually, no way. I'm incorrect. Reno Scum actually interfered with this, so I am incorrect about that. I did forget about that. I'm sorry, guys. But majority of the match, it was just these two going at it. Let me just jump into things for what they have written here on Impact Wrestling. Eddie jump starts the match with a dive through the ropes to the floor. Eddie brings out weapons, but Ace turns it around with a trash can shot. Eddie is about to put Ace through a table with Reno when Reno Scum interferes. Eddie sends Thorne's toe through the table with a belly-to-belly throw, which was absolutely terrible, may I add. That was the one spot in this match that absolutely sucked. I did not like that finish. It really did. Well, it wasn't a finish, but that belly-to-belly throw did not work out. Didn't do the table break any justice. They could have reused the table anyway, even though it was partially broken on the end of it. So you could have leaned in another corner and reused the damn table all over again because it was that bad of a botch. So let me see here. Belly throw. Ace regains control off the distraction with a springboard leg drop onto a garbage can. That was a very nice spot by Ace Austin. Eddie takes Ace off the top rope with a huge backdrop. Eddie swings a kendo stick, but Ace blocks it with the X Division title and cracks him over the head with it. Ace breaks Kenny the kendo stick over his knee, and that really infuriated Eddie Edwards when he saw that. Ace loads his fist with a piece of steel and clobbers Eddie, and then hits a super fold through the table for the win. That was pretty much it. They don't happen to mention in that highlight description of this match that Ace Austin fell through went through a fucking garbage table and then was hit in the head with a fucking kendo stick. And that was a pretty nice spot, by the way, as I already mentioned. So, we get Sooyoung debuts her new persona as Susie. Yeah. Sooyoung was portraying a zombie-type-like character that was a not a drag queen, but she was a marriage, a wife, or a wife that was dressed up in a marriage clothing, gown and whatever, a wedding dress, and she was portraying a zombie-type character. At that point, she was hung by her neck in Mexico a couple of weeks ago, about a month ago actually, and was sent to the hospital. They show a little segment video of her laying on her deathbed, per se, while the Hispanic or Mexico's finest doctors couldn't get her back to life. She ends up dying and then being reborn again type situation. She comes into the Impact Zone of in Canada, and she portrays herself and calls herself Susie. She doesn't know why she's there. She doesn't understand what the fuck she's doing. Neither does any of the other people. What happened to Sooyoung? Where is she? What's going on here? Am I in a fucking dream or something? So that was what a lot of the backstage wrestlers were thinking to themselves, and they thought Sooyoung was very bizarre, portraying herself as Susie. So it was definitely a different perception, and it was kind of cool to see her being her, instead of being a zombie-like creature with makeup all over her face and fucking looking weird as hell. So that was kind of a neat thing. Where they go from here, is she going to be as good as what she was as Sooyoung? That's to be seen. I don't know yet. Then we got this 1980s gimmick wrestler named Johnny Swinger hitting on Alicia, who's Eddie Edwards' wife. Ace Austin, though, comes in to stop him because he says that she's a married woman, and that's disrespectful. He was really trying to hit on her and get her to sleep with him. Ace Austin then acts like he's the goody two-shoe guy and tries to persuade him to leave her alone, which he does. Excuse me, I'm going to take a swig of my water here. So yeah. He goes ahead, persuades Johnny Swinger to get lost, and Ace Austin finally persuades Alicia to have dinner with him. Where this goes from here, I have no fucking idea. This is just downright fucking retarded, outside of him trying to get in her pants, and that's pretty much it. This is a very similar thing by WWE with Rusev and Bobby Lashley. Only this was built up through the last month or so, month and a half actually. I have been keeping up with these episodes because I have Impact Plus. And I may say to you guys that this show has been built up the correct way. This whole entire story or program that they're doing with Eddie Edwards and Ace Austin, this made sense. Bobby Lashley and Lana with Rusev was never built up. It just instantly happened like that, and then we're supposed to sit there and go ooh and ah and be all excited over this. This is fucking retarded. That whole way of what they did was stupid. What they did here, if you guys have watched this show week after week after week, which probably you haven't because most people don't watch Impact Wrestling, but since I care about providing you guys World of Wrestling, which is what this channel is, I'm going ahead and reviewing as many different promotions as I possibly can within the time that I have available to me to give you guys these videos and insights of what I feel about these shows. So this was definitely a good built-up storyline that made sense somewhat, but it's, you know where it's going to go. You know what's going to happen. Either one or two things. You're either going to see Alicia stay with Eddie Edwards, push away Ace Austin, and go back with her husband and stop bickering and arguing with her husband about things, even though he's turned into a crazed out lunatic since last year, where Sami Callihan hit him in the face with a fucking baseball bat, which turned him into a crazy lunatic. So it's either going to be that, or you're going to see her turn on her husband and go with Ace Austin anyway, and that's where that's going to lead. I do believe these two men are going to have another match. I feel that more than likely Alicia is going to stay with Eddie Edwards. They are a married couple. I think that when you're married, whether it is real, whether you're doing something on television or not, you should be portrayed together, or you just have your life separated from each other when it comes to in-ring competition and storyline telling. if you're going to go ahead and provide realism to the show and say, hey, these two are actually married in real life, then you keep them as a married couple on your program. So if you turn one heel, the other one needs to turn heel as well. If they are getting divorced or they're separated or whatever, you can do whatever you want at that point, in my personal opinion. I don't know what you guys think about the marriages in professional wrestling, and that if they introduce real life instances with their marriages, that they should stay together or be split apart in the sense of storyline telling. I personally feel that you either do one or the other. You either keep it where it is, where people can research it that they're married, but not actually put them together in any way, shape, or form, in any kind of capacity, and leave it at that, or you keep them together as one until either in real life they either separate or get divorced. So that's just how I feel on that. So we go to the main event. Brian Cage versus Sami Callihan in a steel cage match for the World Championship. Before the match even begins, Sami kicks the cage door into the face of Brian Cage. Sami locks him out of the cage, but Bryan lunges up the wall of the cage over the top and into the ring to start the match. Sami hits Bryan over the head with a baseball bat, busting him open in the process. Sami connects with a huge clothesline for a very close 2 count. Sami hits his signature cactus special pile driver, but Bryan kicks out at 1. This is something that occurred in this matchup that I did not agree with. They are doing the exact same thing with this pile driver that is Sami Callihan's finishing maneuver, and hitting it multiple times in one fucking match. That's what they have been doing with Seth Rollins' curb stomp. I think it's absolutely ridiculous to have to hit the same fucking finishing maneuver over and over again to get a finish. You either do it once, maybe twice, once in a blue moon because you're in a big match field type situation, but you don't have the fucking finisher be kicked out all the time, not to mention over and over and over again in the same fucking match. I don't care if it's a big fight field matchup, main event, world championship match. I don't give a shit. You don't do that. Protect the finishing maneuvers. Make them seem important. If you don't do that, then people are not going to buy into or make or feel that the finisher is fucking important at all. It doesn't give any importance if you have the damn finisher kicked out all the time. Just my personal opinion. Alright. So, again, Sami hits repeated strikes followed by 3 cactus special pile drivers. I've already mentioned this. Again, multiple pile drivers. Not good, but he didn't do, pinfalls on each and every one of them. He did it consecutively over and over again. So that was actually smart on their part. But Bryan somehow kicks out at 2. Again, multiple finishers, even like this, still kicks out. Bryan hits an Alabama slam, followed by a massive discus clothesline for a near fall of his own. Sami connects with a vicious pile driver off the top to win the match and become the new Impact World Champion. Now, that finish was the smart idea with what they did. The finisher with the off the top rope, that was intelligent what they did there. But to go ahead and hit 3 pile drivers consecutively without letting go of the hold and still kicking out, I think was a bit much. They should have just went ahead and went with that spot at the end and left it at that. They only needed to do 2 pile drivers. Instead, they went for 5. That's a little overkill. Bad enough they had him kick out at 1 on top of it. They're trying to make Brian Cage, what, the new Fiend of Impact Wrestling 2? Get the fuck out of here. So Sami Callihan wins the World Championship in a steel cage match to become the new World Champion. Good for him. I'm very excited. I'm happy. I really... This is the same exact thing that WWE did to The Fiend. Sami Callihan has been underutilized in this. Well, not underutilized, but he has never been in a world title picture. This was his first opportunity at Bound for Glory, and they did not proceed with him winning the title. I did not like this. That matchup was entertaining as hell. They went back and forth. They were kicking each other's asses. There was a lot of things done to each other. They did a great job for a hardcore match. My issue with it is Sami Callihan should have won the match at Bound for Glory and then had a rematch in a steel cage. That would have been a lot better and would have made a little bit more sense to do. It would have given Sami Callihan an important moment in his career to win at a big pay-per-view like this. For him to get a rematch was ridiculous, but they made sense of it. They had Sami Callihan's group OVE capture Melissa and her daughter, his daughter, may I add, and he said if he wanted to see them again and not have them do any harm to his kid and his wife, he highly recommends to give him that rematch. He grants him the rematch, and he tells him he's going to rip him from fucking limb. He actually says that exact word, but it's bleeped out since it's very, explicit word that he used. I mean, fuck is not exactly a word you hear on national television. And that was pretty much how this whole match got set up. So I like the fact that they made sense of it to have this rematch, even though there was no need for it. But when you put someone's family at risk, it makes sense for him to want to, give him a title rematch and face him inside of a steel cage. In return, they had the OVE group out of the picture, so they couldn't show up at the arena, making sense of the fucking steel cage. The steel cage had importance. It kept everyone out of the ring. There was no outside interferences. Thank you, God, finally a steel cage match that had no outside interference. So they gave some credibility to a steel cage match, thankfully. When the match ended, we saw Tessa Blanchard show up and had a face-to-face stare down with him holding the title over his head. And that was pretty much it, and the show went off the air. What is my personal opinions on this, you may ask? Her going after the World Championship is kind of neat, but kind of stupid at the same time. Her competing against men, that's one thing. Her competing against a world title, that's another thing. You don't see another man competing over the women's championship. Yeah. That's my point. I mean, not to sound sexist or anything, but I don't see any man challenging a woman for the women's championship. And you're never going to see that. This situation, I don't like either. I don't like having Tessa Blanchard challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship for the men. It doesn't make any sense. She is not a man. She is a woman. Not to sound sexist or anything like that. But you do not see a man go after a women's championship. Maybe they should do that to make the women's title seem just as important as the men's World Heavyweight Championship. If you're going to have cross-intergender type matches, you could have that for a women's title. Make things fair. But personally, I don't see the point. Now, if you want to create an intergender World Heavyweight Championship where men and women can compete against each other over a title, I guess that would make sense. But only make it for one championship. This, I don't agree with. Now, you may ask me, well, China won a Intercontinental Championship back in the 90s with the Attitude Era. Why can't you have this? She didn't compete over a World Championship. She competed over a fucking mid-card title. That is my issue with it. Now, granted, like I said, if you're going to have a woman challenge for a man's world title, you could always have a man challenge for a women's world title. That's my point. Do I like this matchup? Do I think that this would be entertaining to watch? Well, so far, Sami Callihan has beaten Tessa Blanchard both times. Do I like Tessa Blanchard's in-ring ability to wrestle with the men? Absolutely. She is great in the ring with the men. She performs very well with Sami Callihan, especially their first match at Slammiversary. I think they did an outstanding job working together in that match. But at the end of the day, is she going to actually win the World Championship for the men? No. They're not going to do that. They are going to nail her for a third time in a row and make her lose to Sami Callihan. She is not going over for the World Championship. If they do that, I will be surprised. But I don't think it's going to happen. I think that these two are going to compete in a very hardcore type of environment matchup, and Tessa Blanchard's going to lose again. That's all I have to say on the subject. The show itself on Access TV, nice presentation. I like the arena at the St. Clair University Arena. Looks a little like Full Sail, a little bit bigger though too. I think it's a venue that they should continue to perform at until they can make enough money to perform in bigger venues, or somewhat of a venue just like this one, because it looks a lot bigger. It doesn't look like it's a small little patty shack place where you can only fit a few hundred people. This actually looked like it could fit about 2,000 people. Looked a little bigger than the Impact Zone from Orlando. So I truthfully think that this would be a very smart decision for them to stay in St. Clair University in Canada until they can span out to other venues that are the same size as this, because it looks a lot better as presentation-wise for your viewing eyes. For other arenas they performed in, they're very small, dinky, look like they can only fit a few hundred people. One place that they went to that I do enjoy is the one in Las Vegas, Sam's Town Hotel and Casino Event Center. That really looks like a nice little venue. Definitely looks like a bigger venue than most places that they've gone to. But majority of the venues that they've gone to since before Access TV look very small. They don't look that big. They look like they could fit about 300-400 people, and that's it. I don't like those kind of venues. Make it a little bit where it's over 1,000 or better. Venues like 300-400 people is just absolute trash. It means, like, to me, it makes you seem like you have no money whatsoever to give us a, to be in a decent sized venue for your presentation of your show. That's just my opinion. Leave your comments and opinion down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that, as I always do. Hit the like button if you liked the video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. And I thank you very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.